We made it safely on our road trip here to Phoenix. Hello everybody, how we doing? Welcome back to a brand new episode of our iRacing NASCAR AI career mode here on the channel. Today we are headed to Phoenix, Arizona for some more left turns here in this number 21 Wood Brothers racing machine. Excited for this one here after this West Coast swing. It's had its ups and downs. We're coming off of a top 10 at Las Vegas after a bit of chaos, to say the least, that kind of favored us as well, so we can't really complain with the fuel issues and whatnot. I have adjusted the fuel coming into this race, so basically what I've done is I've given every car actually full fuel capacity instead of limiting it to about half to reduce the issues that we saw in literally every episode so far with Daytona, Auto Club Las Vegas, etc. So we were ready to get some laps under our belt here in practice in this number 21 machine. Not sure what to expect here in Phoenix. It's been an up and down track, a little bit of history here. I lost the championship in the Xfinity Series in that number 48 car last season for JRM after blowing a tire in the last turn, so a little bit of unfortunate history here at Phoenix, and we hope that it doesn't kick off the same way here today in this number 21 car in practice. As I say that, loose into that corner, a huge impact here to kick off practice, absolutely destroying our number 21 machine. I have no idea what just happened. It just shot around on me. I had no chance. There you hear myself quickly to the radio on the team there, with the team there. We were fine, but look at the impact. Oh my goodness, up and off the ground. And I don't know what happened. I went down into the corner. I guess I drove it in a little bit too deep. So we needed to get the backup car out, obviously, because an impact like that absolutely KO'd this car. However, I would get back on track a little bit later in practice, and actually it did not get much better. I would actually spin again here. Things were way off for this number 21 machine. I was struggling hard with the handling of this car, and it was not looking good here in free practice, so things were definitely concerning. Now here we are a little bit later, and we were able to make a little bit of time. We were starting to kind of get into a rhythm here, get into, I guess, a flow you will call it here, but it wasn't feeling good. The car was just, it felt so on edge. It felt like I couldn't really do what I needed to do with this number 21 machine to make it go forward. However, I did notice that, when I was getting around this circuit without issues, there's another big issue right there, but the car had some speed in it. That was the big thing. There was actually some speed in this number 21 machine, so it wasn't like it was a lost cause, but however, we definitely need some help here as you see the top 10 in free practice now, as we're going to head into our qualifying attempt for 2 laps here around Phoenix, just hoping we don't make the same error that we did here in practice. So just all about getting this car around and getting a decent qualifying effort. Currently Chase Elliott on pole as we were getting ready to kick off our lap, but Kyle Larson actually just took the pole away from him as we were getting ready to go green here. Our lap gets underway here down towards this travel towards turn 1, and immediately there you see it again. The car, I lose control and overcorrected right into the outside while an absolutely KO it, and just like that, we're starting at the back, and this terrible start to the weekend here in Phoenix has gotten even worse, and we are crashed out in qualifying and starting from the back of the grid. Not the start we were looking for, and this car, so unpredictable, and it just a little movement and it overcorrects into the wall. We got some work to do. Let's send it over to the pre-race from Alan Bailey.
Welcome to the Diamond in the Desert Phoenix Raceway. I'm Alan Bailey with live coverage on ARN. Located just outside Phoenix, Arizona, this track holds the championship race at the very end of the season, so a lot of teams trying different things for the end of the season today. Riley Herbst takes over the 41 car today and next week at Atlanta. Reports have Stuart Haas considering releasing the suspended driver of Cole Custard to allow the 41 car a better chance to contend for a playoff spot. Can terrible Herbst impress in the 41 Ford today? Let's find out.
Ready to go green. Pace car is about to pull off, and you're going to notice the AI, they will restart very, very early here. So Kyle Larson's going to take off well before the restart zone. 85 laps, by the way, here in Phoenix. But before we get into the stages, let me explain why Kyle Larson takes off so early. So there is restart zones in iRacing, but it currently appears that iRacing AI restart zones actually cause a lot of issues with penalties and cars stopping and whatnot on the circuit for some reason. So we we are going to refrain from using those restart zones until that we know that is fixed. However, it is currently, from the sounds of it, not fixed, so I did not use restart zones here. So for all the restarts that we might have, with 3 guaranteed ones, 2 more on the way from the stage breaks, we'll see Kyle Larson or whoever's leading take off very early in the outside lane. Will be actually at a significant disadvantage there. As you see, Larson's been strong. He's had speed early on in the season, but hasn't been able to showcase it later in these races. Elliott's been so strong as well. Currently up in the top 5, a win in the Daytona 500, some stage wins as well. He is popping off, to say the absolute least. Now, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. there in 2nd and 3rd places. I was, settling in, just trying to keep this car in one piece. Stage 1, 20 laps. So at the conclusion of lap 20, stage 1 comes to a close. Stage 2 would be coming to a close at the end of lap 40. So 2 20-lap sprints, and then we're going to have a 45-lapper to end this race. I was making some nice headway here on this actually outside lane. So I noticed in practice, in qualifying and whatnot, that the inside seemed to be kind of deadly for me. So I was trying to stay away from that inside and make my passes up higher if possible here now. But you can see as well, sometimes you do got to go down to the inside. So I am up the inside of the 78 BJ McLeod, passing him as well as Corey LaJoie. But there is clearly some speed in this number 21 Motorcraft machine, because you can see us now passing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well. However, I get trapped right here. Stenhouse nearly runs into the side of me and actually pushes me down towards the dogleg apron, and I was actually out of shape when I got down to that apron. And once these drivers kind of caught on that I was getting loose on the apron, they were not very kind in opening the door to the outside for me. Here you can see Haley not giving me much room, and then I have to back up again because the car is so unstable down there. So I was trying my best to get back up to the outside, but trying to pass the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well before I make that move to the outside. And we would get past Stenhouse, and then we would jump up to that 2nd lane again, and we get around the outside of Justin Haley there in that number 31, and we're going to be able to pass the colleague driver, his teammate Jay Cook, I believe, running up a little bit ahead of him currently here. As you can see, a lot of single file actually up there in front of us currently here, but it would turn into more double file here as we would run down Eric Almirola, Michael McDowell. But it looks like not only am I better on the outside, but it looks like everybody is better on the outside. It seems like if you're just on the inside in general, there you see Jay Cook struggling in the 16 colleague machine. Everybody on the inside is really having a tough time, as we were already past the halfway point here in the stage. Continuing to gain positions, we might be looking at a top 20 in stage 1 in just a 20-lap stage. That would be very impressive. And you can see here we are with more rookies, fellow rookies of Todd Gilliland as well as Austin Cindric there, one of our Alliance teammates there. We're going to pass Gilliland, and we're going to get to the outside of Cindric here on the exit of turn 2, and we should be able to pass him. Yes, they just cannot get the power down when they have a car on their outside here. Now, battle up front though. Denny Hamlin has run down that number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet of Kyle Larson. Larson, your Daytona 500 pole winner, still looking for his first win of the season to lock himself into the playoffs. Well, here he is now, getting passed by Hamlin on the exit of turn 4, late in stage 1. For the lead, Hamlin goes to it. Chase Elliott is well, closing in very quickly on these 2 drivers. In front of him, Elliott, like we said already a little bit earlier, a few minutes ago, he has been so strong to kick off this season and already is locked into the playoffs with that Daytona 500 win, as well as Joey Logano being the most recent driver to lock himself into the playoffs after William Byron as well in Auto Club. Here goes Chase Elliott now, a few moments later, passing Kyle Larson around the outside. So Larson, as this run goes longer and longer, he seems to be falling off quite a bit here in that number 5, as we were continuing to fight around with drivers around us as well, passing the number 17 of Chris Buescher there. So we move up and towards that top 20 up to P19, all over the back at the 43 of Eric Jones and the 14 of Chase Briscoe as well, and we just continue slicing our way through the field. The car has been on edge all weekend long in practice and qualifying, but now that we've got it under control, we've been able to get some serious speed out of this car here. Now down into turn 1, around the outside again of the 14 of Briscoe. That will move us up at a P17 from dead last, but P36 to P17 here at about 19 laps is very impressive. This is the final lap now of stage 1, lap 20. Chase Elliott up the inside. Could he make a move up the inside? He might actually make it happen. He's going to take the lead in 3 and 4 for the stage victory. Hamlin on his outside. Who's going to have the run? It's going to be Elliott there. The caution actually comes out a few moments earlier than usual, but Chase Elliott was deemed the leader at the time of the caution. So Chase Elliott wins stage 1 over Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson, Larson third, Martin Truex Jr., Byron all the way down to Kurt Busch, Bell, Kyle Busch, Chastain, and Reddick as well. And Kyle Busch again, second race in a row where we've had, again, one car specifically doesn't load their paint scheme here, and it was Kyle Busch once again for the second race in a row for some odd reason. Actually, it was a different scheme this time too, M&M's instead of interstate batteries, so weird that it's not loading there. However, we get ready now for these pit stop cycles, and 4 tires, fill it up with fuel, and I was pretty happy with the car currently here, but obviously things can change here going into stage 2 for about another 20 lap or so sprint here in the second stage now, as it is a drag race with the 43 as well as the 12 of Ryan Blaney as we get ready for stage 2. Chase Elliott is your stage 1 winner from Phoenix. Ready to go green for the second stage here. There you see a peak there from Rattlesnake Hill overlooking the circuit. Now, what a view you get here if you come to Phoenix Raceway in Arizona now, as we are ready to go green on this outside behind the number 1 Trackhouse machine of Ross Chastain, looking for some stage points. That's kind of been a weakness so far. We do have 2 top 10s. One of them was Mickey in the last episode, but we do have 2 top 10s currently in our Cup Series career, but we have been really struggling to get stage points here. Chase Elliott takes off very early as expected. Corey LaJoy actually is out in second place currently. So what he did, he took 2 tires. He took 2 tires instead of 4. We're about to see how that pays off for that number 7. You can see the stack up it creates behind him, which is great for me because I'm on the outside, so I might be able to gain a good chunk of positions here. 3 wide in the background there. You got Ryan Blaney as well as Alex Bowman. Eric Jones scrapping it up. Bowman has found himself in the wrong spot many times so far this season in that Ally Financial Chevrolet number 48 car, and here he is again in the wrong spot, wrong time situation here, continuing to be 3 wide on that outside here now, as I was thankfully ahead of that little bit of a mess, and Jones nearly runs into the left rear quarter panel of Ryan Blaney, but backs out of it now. Blaney trying to get past both Jones and that 48 of Alex Bowman. Look at this, Denny Hamlin really struggling. I was able to pass Hamlin, who was stuck on the inside. Elliott as well now under attack from Kyle Larson. Look at this, Bell as well going to go around the outside. Kyle Busch, Chastain, Suarez all up here in the mix, and I was just behind it. I was into the top 10 after all these drivers struggling on the inside, and Elliott, he continues to struggle. Your stage 1 winner, he is there just in front of us, in front of Kyle Busch here, as Reddick is going to go by on the outside here now as we exit turn 2 into the back of the 18. We've just put Kyle Busch in the outside while Kurt Busch as well contact Byron, contact a huge save from the number 24 Exalta Chevrolet. Big damage to Kyle Busch, no caution, but you can see it there. He's off the pace. He would need to come into the pit lane, and it was such a slight tap right there, and that shot him up into the outside. Well, 100% my fault.
Got a wrecked bucket of
Well, there you hear the radio from Kyle Busch, who is understandably not happy whatsoever with myself here now, as I, just misjudged the pace of his car on the exit of turn 2. You see us passing a continuing to struggle Chase Elliott here, and already running out of time in stage 2, and we have that contact with Kyle Busch. We got to move on, and Kyle Busch is in the pit lane currently repairing his car, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. He's on that damaged vehicle policy, so the DVP clock of 10 minutes. We are running by a 10-minute clock here all season long, and not just the playoffs only, by the way, as we were closing in now late in the stage on Tyler Reddick, Daniel Suarez. You can see the sun had been covered up by some clouds. That's a little bit more shade on the circuit, and it almost seemed like that was kind of benefiting me because I was closing in. You see struggling a little bit there with the handling still, and this number 21 got a little bit loose there as we dive down into turn 1, but we are getting closer and closer to Reddick, as I think he's actually being held up by Daniel Suarez is what's happening here, because you can see Suarez is continuing to lose time to his teammate of Ross Chastain. Now though, to the back of Reddick, and actually trying to get up the inside here on the exit of turn 2 down the SPAC right away. Reddick briefly clear, but we get up the inside again into turn 3. We're about to have a little bit of a scrap here with the RCR driver. This is to move ourselves into the top 5. What a run we are having and putting together. What a rebound weekend we are putting together after a terrible practice, a terrible qualifying, accidents in both, and now we have been clean down into turn 1 now side by side with Reddick for 5th, a little bit sideways there on the apron. We do save it again now as there it goes, and we're going to spin here.
Spinning 2. Owen spinning under Reddick. He ignites the big one at Phoenix in turn 2. Harvick, Kurt Busch, Byron, Blaney all in it. Oh, and it'll be the end of the day for Owen in stage 2.
I can't even drive it. It's over, boys. I mean, absolutely terrible. Car's done. there you see it all unfold. Our day comes to an end, what it looks like anyways, unless we can get it repaired in 10 minutes, but a huge mistake on my part. I just simply lose it. I got loose at the beginning of the corner. I got loose again, clipped the apron, and unfortunately Byron nowhere to go, hammers the outside wall. Harvick, Kurt Busch all involved. Ryan Blaney clipped us as well, and we have made nothing but drivers angry with us here today in Phoenix. Kyle Busch, Byron, Kurt Busch, Harvick as well. I'm sure none of them guys are happy with us right now. And look at the hit for William Byron. Oh my goodness, up and off the ground there on the right side. A huge hit for that number 24 on board with Kurt Busch as well, and a big hit there. Absolutely destroys the left front and right front as well. On board as well in the cockpit with Kevin Harvick, which like I said, he has nowhere to go, head on into the side of us there. As an embarrassing mistake, as now we were on the 10-minute damage vehicle policy clock, and we have to be out of the pit lane within the 10 minutes, and we had 17 seconds after rolling. So we were on the pits for 9 minutes and 42 seconds. Stage 2 had already ended, and I'll give the recap here momentarily, but we were running out of time to get out of the pits. 5, 4, 3. It's gonna be the end of the day for us here in Phoenix as we run out of time. There you see it. Kurt Busch, William Byron getting repairs, and our day comes to an unfortunate end as we have to park it in the garage here. Now, recap, Chase Elliott managed to get to the lead later in this race. Kyle Larson actually won stage 2. Elliott went on a rally back forward. You saw him falling in stage 2. He did rally his way back to the lead, and this was actually green flag pit stops that happened in the third and final stage, by the way, here, and they actually made it work without cautions and crashes or fuel issues and whatnot. Kyle Busch is back out on the track. Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, William Byron, they all managed to get back out on the track. There you can see Alex Bowman leaving the pits there during that fuel strategy. Things weren't looking very beneficial right now for that number 48, but an embarrassing day for myself in this number 21 car that came to an early end to our day. And this is the final lap. Chase Elliott leading, coming home to his second win of the season.
Off of turn 4, Chase Elliott wins Phoenix again. Second win in 4 races, and he makes a statement today for everyone else.
Denny Hamlin, runner-up there. William Byron, Kyle Busch following through, not for position, as well as the rest of the field, though, coming through to cross the line after a disappointing day for us here in Phoenix. It'll be interesting going into the next episode to hear the reaction from some of our veteran drivers on the grid about what happened here on the track today in Phoenix, but it was not pretty. A lot of mistakes. It was a rough weekend, and unfortunately, obviously, it went so wrong. As you do see the finishing order scrolling by on your screen, Elliott, as Alan Bailey said, has made a statement. 2 wins in the first half of the season. First 4 races so far. What a race it was. Not a good one for us, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sure when you saw it was a little bit shorter of an episode, you thought maybe something kind of happened, and well, sure enough, it certainly did. Wasn't very beneficial for myself, but just overall unfortunate. I just could never get comfortable in the car, in the 21 car here in Phoenix. I don't know what it was, but it was rough. But that's gonna do it for me. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Those would all be so much appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next one, where we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old Atlanta Motor Speedway, not plate racing Atlanta Motor Speedway. Have a great day, everybody.